This one is from the AITA subreddit as well and is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Being Mad That My In-Laws Bought My Son a Toy and Lied About It? Oof. Am I the asshole for being pissed? I, female 31, and my husband, male 30, have a 3-year-old son. We live on a 30-acre plot with my in-laws about 5 acres away. My mother-in-law watches our son while my hubs and I are at work, so she spends a lot of time with him. She also spoils him excessively. We're going to fix the mic position here. Anytime they go to town, he gets a new toy, or he gets a cake pop or a sucker or something. It's always something. It's to the point that it's not considered a treat anymore. In fact, my toddler has come to expect it. So when I'm in town with him and we walk past the toy section while grocery shopping, it turns into a meltdown because mommy said no. Now, to preface this, it's not just an ordinary Hot Wheels she has gotten him. My son has 4 Power Wheels vehicles, a blue tractor, zero-turn mower, Jeep, and an excavator/digger. Dude, those are like $250, $300 a pop, if not more. The blue tractor is the oldest and often breaks, but my husband keeps fixing it repeatedly. The zero-turn my son hardly rides. The Jeep is his favorite, and it's the fastest one. And the excavator/digger is broken, and they haven't taken the steps to warranty it out for whatever reason. Mother-in-law found a monster truck Power Wheels on the Facebook Marketplace about an hour from where we live. She told father-in-law about it, and he was going to be in the area, so he agreed to pick it up. Mother and father-in-law are divorced, but are civil enough. Mother-in-law told my husband about a monster truck she wanted to get our son, but he was under the impression it was a remote control car. No one said anything to me about this. I feel very strongly that 5 Power Wheels is about 4 too many. We don't have anywhere to store them, so they have to stay over at mother-in-law's house, and she has a raised porch and can park them under her porch. My father-in-law was at my house when I got home from work and tried to take the fall, saying it was his fault, and he never gets to do anything for our son and just wanted to do something nice. The issue is mother-in-law this morning before work had told me that she found it on the marketplace. So clearly it wasn't from father-in-law at all. He was just picking it up so she didn't have to drive all that way. I'm extremely frustrated because A, I was kept out of the loop about yet another large gift. B, I was directly lied to about whose idea it was to try and take the heat off mother-in-law. C, my husband doesn't understand or agree with my being upset. Toys, especially big toys like this, should be a treat, but it's become an everyday occurrence. This has encouraged entitlement and tantrums when my toddler is told no. My husband is annoyed with me for being upset because I'm the only one with the problem here. So please tell me, am I the asshole? Too long don't read. My mother and father-in-law bought a 5th Power Wheel for my son without asking me and then lied about it. All right, so the question here is, am I the astronaut for being mad that my in-laws bought my son a toy and lied about it? Not just a toy, a freaking Power Wheels. Not just a freaking Power Wheels, the 5th Power Wheels. Holy cow. Yeah, so there's spoiling and then there's spoiling rotten. The rotten part of this comes when you start creating this sense of entitlement. Whenever it creates an expectation to get big extravagant gifts like this all the time, and then the kid can't handle not getting one, so it leads to full-on tantrums, that's a problem. There's also the flip side of this where, you know, I believe grandparents should get to spoil the kids. That's great. It is causing behavioral issues now. But the flip side of it is that kids need to understand that they aren't going to get this kind of thing every time. So what percentage of times is an acceptable rate here? Obviously, it's too much the way it is right now, and that's causing the behavioral problems. But you're going to fight this battle at some level, OP. You're going to fight this battle where if the kid gets something 1 out of every 10 times instead of 50% of the time, you're still going to fight this battle, maybe to a lesser degree. You're still going to have to fight this with the kid to teach them that they don't get something every time that they're in the store. You're still going to fight some tantrums here, is maybe to a lesser degree, but they are enabling a behavioral issue right now. Teach them value with taking care of the toys. There you go. Taking care of it. Have dad take him somewhere and see how the kid acts. Spoiled rotten doesn't go well when they get older or grow up. Agreed there as well. Experiences are greater than stuff, Megan. There you go. Maybe that's the discussion that they need to have. Maybe it is a, hey, if you guys want to do something for him, take him to do something. Quit buying stuff because the expectation that is creating is actually causing harm. Do you want to cause your grandchild harm? This is going to make it harder for them to adjust later on when it comes to school, when it comes to anything else. They have a 3-year-old son. Oh, 3. You got the terrible 3s there too, right? So that's tough. Give the gift back. Oh, yeah. Surreal Detective said this is going to turn into the kid who's mad that they can't have the iPhone 15 at 11. Yeah. I mean, there are definitely issues here. He's only 3. He's got 5 Power Wheels. I mean, shit. The escalation here is going to be wild. And I think a lot of overdoing spoiling comes from a place of guilt, right? It's like maybe they didn't have the ability. Number one, you can't be an asshole for feeling something, right? And this is, am I the astronaut for being mad that my in-laws bought my son a toy and lied about it? No, you can't. You can't be an asshole for feeling it. What you do with it can make you an asshole, or what you choose to do with it. In this case, what was the action taken here? She's extremely frustrated. So I think you're not an asshole for being frustrated or upset here. It's what you do with it at this point. You have every right to be like, hey, this is a problem. And we have a couple of options of where to go from here. Experience is better than stuff, which is great. If you want to create some experiences, if you want to get anything for them, we have plenty of stuff to the detriment of everything right now, right? And I think you just have to have that conversation and explain it to the both of them and be like, look, this is causing problems and it has to stop. I'm sorry, but any gifts that you give that are large beyond this point will be rejected, will be returned, will be sold, whatever that thing is. Just say enough is enough. And it is causing behavioral issues, and they aren't around to clean up the mess that they create right now. Mother-in-law specifically. She's not around to handle the tantrums that are being created because she's creating this entitlement behavior. She's enabling the fit throwing, the tantrums. She's not there to handle that side of it. She doesn't get to cause it. Create experiences. Focus on something different. But what she's doing right now is not working. It does need to be a group discussion. And Nate's, yeah, and maybe she feels disconnected. I saw that comment, and that's why I'm thinking it could come from a place of guilt. She could be overdoing it because of guilt about not being able to do something like this for her son earlier in life. It could be any number of things. Having a communication, having to sit down with everybody and saying, look, here's what we need to do to fix this. Is everybody on the same page? Okay, great. Let's go. That's all it's going to take. But you are not an asshole for being frustrated. You can't be an asshole for feeling something. Stephanie, you're right. It's going to be really difficult to correct this problem if OP's husband isn't in agreement. And I think that's why it's got to be a group discussion here, right? Because hubby may not be seeing the meltdowns either. And somebody mentioned that earlier too. Have dad take him somewhere and see how he acts. Dad needs to see this firsthand. He needs to feel the pain of the downside of what this is creating to fully understand. It does need to be a group discussion though. It has to be everybody on the same page, has to be communicated clearly. Everybody has to understand what and why this is happening.